I love big old titties just as much as the next guy. But this is ridiculous. Really. Ridiculous. What up, people? Base Logic. So it's starting to seem like I'm picking on these people. Might be, but they goddamn deserve it. A couple of days ago, I made a video about a high school that's under fire because they have a LGBTQ book in the library that the parents weren't for, called Genderqueer. Well, I'm back with another story about these people losing their damn minds. In Ontario, there's a high school, and they've got a shop teacher named Kayla Lemieux. Now, Kayla is a trans woman, meaning he was born a man, now he identifies as a chick. That's not good enough for Kayla. Wearing a dress and skirts, that's not good enough for Kayla. Changing his name to Kayla is not good enough. Kayla decides that he's got to come to school with big old titties every day. And when I say big old titties, I mean huge, big old massive titties. He's wearing them around the school. Some of the parents, understandably, aren't really for it. Let's watch coverage of it from a not-so-American news source and see what they got to say about it. Check this out.
In high school has sparked outrage over their decision to defend a transgender teacher who has gone viral for wearing enormous prosthetic breasts whilst teaching students.
Yes, well, viral photos and...
Already, they can't even keep a straight face. Look, when they say it, they can't even keep a straight face.
Enormous prosthetic breasts whilst teaching students.
Yes, well, viral photos and videos of the teacher who calls themselves Kayla Lemieux shows them wearing bike shorts, a blonde wig and tight tops over abnormally large prosthetic breasts in the classroom. Our TV viewers can see that teacher there. Look it up online if you haven't seen it. Well, in response to the controversy, Oakville Trafalgar High School in Ontario says it's committed to, quote, establishing and maintaining a safe, caring, inclusive, equitable and welcoming learning environment and working environment.
Indeed. Well, Miranda Yardley is a human rights activist and joins us now. Thank you for joining us on the programme. Sorry, Miranda, we don't have a lot of time, but just, I'm going to be honest here. I think it is to have a teacher, male or female, but in this instance, a male wearing abnormally large prosthetic breasts to students when they're meant to be learning, and the response from the school is to defend their so-called gender identity and expression. I mean, this is wrong and ridiculous, surely.
It sure is. I like these chicks.
Yes, it's quite interesting that not many people seem to have picked up on the underlying problem with this, in that the individual concerned who is acting out this fantasy, for that is exactly what he is doing. He has become the image of what he thinks a woman should be, and he's getting he's getting a thrill out of it, a sexual thrill out of it on some level. And there is an issue here for the students, obviously, who are being used as props within this fantasy, and there is no consent. There is only coercion, that they have to accept what the teacher is doing. I mean, this is...
The students don't have a choice but to accept it. You know why? Because their dumb, punk-ass parents voted for this type of shit. That's the thing. That is my biggest problem with just my average American citizen I see walking down the fucking street. They may hear something that's crazy, see something on the news that's absurd, totally abnormal, makes no sense. Like this dude with these huge titties. They hear about it, the first thing they will be is outraged. Oh man, what the fuck is going on? How did this happen? Because 9 times out of 10, you either voted for it or you weren't active at all. You didn't vote at all. You just didn't give a fuck. That's how this type of shit happens. It doesn't just happen out of nowhere. People vote for this monkey shit or don't vote when the shit comes up on the ballots. You look around, Mr. So-and-so in shop has huge tits. Their parents voted for it. Now these kids got to deal with it. It's a fucking shame.
When you analyse this properly in the context of what the teacher is actually doing, this is the epitome of what the word problematic was invented for.
see us getting? I know this is in Canada, but do you see
That's a
the
chick
West
right there
getting to
talking
a
again?
place
Like,
where
goddamn.
leaders will be able to say, actually, no, we're not going to tolerate this at all, and we're going to make it completely unacceptable, and people will lose their jobs if they continue doing what many consider abhorrent things, such as sexualizing a classroom?
Well, it's quite interesting that Canada seems to have gone down this particular avenue of encoding the support of gender identity and gender expression, i.e., basically men enacting sexualized stereotypes of women and protecting it under law. There was somebody from the school board who was videoed recently defending this individual, saying that, well, it's their gender identity, we don't discriminate on the basis of the gender identity, and corrected the journalist who was speaking to him, saying, well, it's a she, the individual concerned is a she, not a he. I mean, this really is the this really is the natural endpoint at where this type of legislation ends up. If you start encoding stereotypes as being woman, this is where it's going to end up. And here we have a man
That's right. Call it what
enacting
it is.
his
A
own
dude.
idea about what a woman should be.
Big-headed
And
nuts.
you know, we need to ask ourselves, where has he got the idea from that that is what a woman is? Where has he found that? And I think that with a little bit of thought, we can probably work it out.
Yeah, that's a good point. How come when they turn into trans women, how come they never turn into trans women with little itty bitty titties? How come they always go for the fucking extreme, Pam Anderson times 10, dumbass, huge, absurd titties? Why? Because it's a caricature. This shit is crazy. If my kid was in that school, when they come home from school every day, hey yo, how was class? How was lunch? And in shop class, did you make sure to make fun of that fucking teacher? You did? Okay, cool. Don't start normalizing this shit to my kids. Once your kids start saying shit like, oh, come on, Dad, you don't have to call them that. Oh, come on. They can be who they want to be, right? It's time for you to get the fuck out of my house. Because I've lost you. The state owns you now. This is crazy. Big titties. Classrooms. Good job. I don't know. After you finish barfing, I don't know. Give me a like or a thumbs up. I appreciate it. Take this video for what it's worth. I'll catch y'all later. Peace.